Greetings and thank you for joining me on the Victory Independence channel. This kind of speculative video, an educated speculative video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on and why we aren't seeing things get really bad. Because you look at the macroeconomic data, those of you who read my blog on visionvictorymanifesto.com, looking at the numbers, the contraction in spending by the largest generation, looking at the banks, looking at defaults and bankruptcies, you got all the evidence of Main Street getting really bad, but things are still somewhat normalized. And you know, as I drove down the street the other day, on a nice street actually, not too far from here, I saw them tearing it up. And I was wondering, what are they doing? And of course, then I see the sign, you know, the American Reinvestment Recovery Act, what's on all the street signs lately, or bridges and stuff when they're working on stuff. And I look at the stimulus, you know, they're giving $8,000 to people who will buy a home. They have artificially low interest rates. They have $6,500 tax credits now for people who own homes and want to buy a second home. You know, there's so much stimulus out there. The Federal Reserve has given trillions of dollars, and they when asked where did it go, Ben Bernanke says he didn't know where it went because he gave it to other central banks, and then they dispersed the funds as they please. And I have to ask myself, why are they overloading the system? And I think they are overloading the system, and I only have circumstantial evidence. As I said just a second ago, I can only show you the evidence through all the stimulus and also through all the destructive things they're doing. Now, of course, the economists who didn't see this downturn coming, they think all these actions are helping the economy. But if you just fast forward a little bit and go, well, here's where we are in 10 years. You know, here's where we are as far as a contraction in spending. Here's where we are as far as our manufacturing base. And are basically just looking at the macroeconomics. I know that a recovery is not possible facing what we face. We're going to have to go through some hard times. But, you know, in a normalized economy, we would recover, we would come out stronger, we would dust ourselves off. But what they're doing is they're preventing that by trying to keep the party going, keep the 2003, 2005 party going, and they're overloading the economy with stimulus, basically guaranteeing a systemic collapse in the United States, in our banks, specifically with our currency. So my assumption, and this is speculative, I can't give you concrete evidence, my assumption is that they're not going to let a good crisis opportunity go to waste. So by overloading the system, they will create the mother of all crises. You know, a complete currency collapse, a systemic collapse. And then they can bring out the real change that they want to. You know, a lot of people wonder, you know, they say the global elites, and nobody ever points out them. Look, Congress, the president, George Soros and friends, Bloomberg, these people are globalists, whether you like it or not. You know, and I can't say every single congressman is. Obviously, there's some people out there, Kucinich, Ron Paul, Grayson, I think is his name. There's some people out there who aren't globalists. But there are mostly globalists in our Congress right now, and specifically in our Senate and the White House, without a doubt. Losing sovereignty they look at as an advancement, as a human civilization advancement, that we will become one world, one globe, one government, one currency, all, you know, in stride for the advancement of humanism. And maybe you believe that too. You know, it's debatable whether that's wrong or right, but in my opinion, I think sovereignty protects us. You know, if somebody's picking on somebody, you have sovereignty, but the problem with a global government is you have a few people running the entire world, and it creates the ultimate imbalance. Right now we do have balances, checks and balances. A nation can't just invade another nation without having responses from, you know, 192 other nations and cities and states. Now we might not agree with their responses, but blah, 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 blah. Not going into that right now, excuse me. But the fact is there's checks and balances with sovereignty. You know, if Mexico started executing their citizens by the masses, we wouldn't stand by and watch that happen. Other countries wouldn't stand by and watch that happen. You know, but if you have a few people at the top where they control the government, the currency, and the media, then you have a serious problem. So I think that's where they're trying to push us, and certainly collapsing the United States, throwing a wrench right in the depression where, instead of having a depression where the free market adjusts imbalances, we have corrections, people go through some hard times, genuine hard times that people have gone through for millenniums. Normal stuff here. They're making it much worse. They're going to completely destroy the United States. Again, my evidence is only circumstantial. I can only show you what they're doing and what they're saying they're doing to help us, when I actually think they're screwing us. Now, I guess the end result of this message is for us to keep doing what we're doing as far as educating ourselves and educating friends, and using this time where everybody thinks things are normal again or going to be normal again, when we know that even the normal 5 years ago wasn't really normal. We were actually going straight up in a bubble. Using this time to purchase food, using this time to purchase gold, using this time to educate friends and family, purchase ammunition to protect yourself and your family, and using this time, we really have to get the word out, because I know it seems like it's the impossible. Remember, what the founding fathers faced was impossible, so it can be done. It just takes a small percentage of the society to resist. People talk about prisons and stuff. Look, I can tell you with certainty, you can't jail 50 million people. You can't jail 100 million people. It's impossible. You have to fight them, and if you're going to kill them, just have genocide, it's going to wake up a lot of other people that weren't with the 50 to 100 million people. So, long story short, education is our best weapon, but use this time to prepare. Sorry this video is so speculative. It's been on my mind as I sit here every day and I watch the news, and they just put more and more stimulus, print more money, borrow more money, and it's like, wow, they're really on an escalated level. They're doing everything you wouldn't want to do. Everything that caused us to have a slow decline in our currency, they're doing all in 1 month, or 2 months, or 3 months. So I really think they're overloading the system. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for joining me on the Victory Independence channel.